For nearly a century, one question has fascinated both psychologists and philosophers. What happens to human behavior when people know they are being observed? Some saw observation as a tool for improvement, others saw it as a tool of power, and that difference changes everything. And there comes Michel Foucault, a French philosopher, who argued that one of the most powerful forms of control doesn't rely on force, it relies on observation. Because the moment people feel watched, they begin to change. As Foucault put it, when a person is subjected to a field of visibility, they become the principle of their own subjugation. But is that really true? To understand this, let's go back to 1920s. At the Western Electric Hawthorne factory, researchers wanted to discover what actually improved workers' productivity. Was it better lighting, more breaks, shorter working hours? To find out, they ran a series of experiments. They increased the lighting, productivity improved. No surprise there. But then they reduced the lighting, expecting productivity to fall. Surprisingly, productivity improved again. That created a puzzle. If working conditions weren't driving the change, then what was? Researchers later realized something crucial. Workers weren't responding only to the change in their environment, they were responding to the attention. Simply knowing they were being observed changed how they worked. This became known as a Hawthorne Effect. For psychologists, this suggested that observation could enhance performance. But Foucault saw something deeper. If observation could improve productivity, could it also become something far more powerful? Could observation become a tool of control? That question led Foucault to the idea of panopticon, a prison design proposed by Jeremy Bentham. At its center stand a watchtower, surrounded by prison cells. Prisoners never know when they are being watched, only that they might be. And that uncertainty changes everything. Because once the gaze is internalized, external force become less necessary. Individuals begin regulating their own behaviors. They become disciplined, obedient, and efficient. What Foucault called docile bodies. But the Foucault was not saying society is literally filled with prisoners. The prison was a model, a way to understand how modern institutions shape human behavior. He saw similar mechanisms in schools, hospitals, factories, military barracks, and legal institutions. Places that observe, classify, evaluate, and normalize individuals. Through continuous observation, these institutions do more than watch. They train bodies to obey, routine to follow, and behavior to conform. In school, students are ranked through exams, attendance, and constant evaluation. In hospitals, patients are monitored, measured, and categorized through medical records and diagnostic labels. In factories, efficiency is tracked through schedules, targets, and performance metrics. And in this modern digital world, even social media analytics, fitness trackers, and productivity apps quietly encourage us to monitor ourselves, not through force, but through continuous visibility. And importantly, Foucault was not arguing against punishment itself. His deeper concern was with system of power that silently produced conformity, while appearing rational, beneficial, or even caring. So while the Hawthorne studies showed that observation could improve productivity, Foucault asked a different question. What happens when observation becomes permanent and institutionalized? Who gains power from that visibility? This was radically different from ancient power. In ancient society, punishment was public and visible. Power announced itself through spectacles, pain, and fear. Foucault begins discipline and punishment with the public execution of Robert Francois Demons in 1757, a man condemned for attempting to assassinate the king. Thousands gathered to witness the punishment, not merely to see a criminal suffer, but to watch the sovereign display absolute power. Punishment was theater. Power had to be seen. Modern power works differently. It becomes subtle, continuous, and far more efficient. Instead of punishing the body in public, it disciplines the mind in private. And maybe the real question today is no longer whether observation changes behavior. We already know it does. The real question is, at what point does self-improvement stop being freedom and start becoming self-surveillance?